Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla. I create content around writing as I am an aspiring fantasy author. And I also do kind of lifestyle vlogs here and there as well. So if you like that kind of stuff, stick around. We'll see if that little intro sticks and if I keep using it. So the goal of this video is to kind of go through my writing goals for the rest of the year, technically. So something that I have learned the importance of, mostly in therapy actually, is the purpose of setting goals. So the reason obviously that it's so important to set these goals is because it's important to have some sort of plan. And this is something that I have learned about myself, is that where some people are people who like to make a lot of plans and always kind of know what's going on and that stresses them out, I am someone who just doesn't really plan for anything. Obviously, you shouldn't plan for everything, but there are things like my creative endeavors that I'm working on right now, including writing being probably the biggest one, that they deserve to have a plan. If there is no plan, if there aren't any goals, then there's nothing for me to aim for. And that is how you get off track. You fall behind, you procrastinate when you don't actually have something that you're aiming for. And I think that that has been a huge issue in the past. And even before this past year when I really jumped into writing, that was the reason that a lot of things never got finished in the first place, was because I didn't actually have a plan. I was jumping into ideas and pantsing it, and then once my motivation went, my writing stopped. So on that particular project. So if I had goals and some sort of plan in place, a lot of those projects probably would have gotten finished, and I probably would have finished a project before this past year. So last week I met up with my critique partner and we decided to sit down and make some tangible goals. So something that I like to do is specifically make goals based on different periods of time. So I'll have some short-term goals, some kind of like medium-term goals, and then some long-term goals. This again is something that has been way more functional for me than just having general goals to work towards, because a lot of those times for me, for example, I had a goal that I wanted to publish a book before I was 30, which is a nice goal, but there's no action behind that goal. It's more like a dream. Like, I don't actually have a plan. So it's nice to say that, but how am I actually going to achieve it? So my critique partner and I decided to sit down and come up with some actual goals and some sort of plan so that we could actually reach those goals. So we're starting with weekly goals for the month of June, and then we're gonna check back in and kind of see how those weekly goals went. When you're starting with new goals and you're not quite into something yet, so if you're a new writer, for example, you don't know if the goals that you're setting are going to work for you, and you kind of have to do a lot of trial and error, which can be frustrating, but I am confident that once I've gone through this process a couple times, I'll know and I'll have a better idea of what works for me. So we're starting with weekly goals, and myself and the critique partner are going to meet up every single week to check in on these goals, which again, it's great to have an accountability buddy when you're setting goals, because someone else is now keeping you accountable. You have a little bit more pressure to actually reach those goals. For the first week of June, my goal is to just get the read through of my Between the Waves novel done. So basically by June 8th, I want to have that read through done. I also want to have a map made, a very general map, because again, remember, for this world, there are 9 different realms, and each realm is going to kind of be its own map. So even though there's small blocks of land in each realm, there are still 9 different ones. And in the book, we do travel to nearly every single realm. So I need a map for every realm. So I wanted to make that map and then also make the World Bible. And I want to have that done by June 8th. So the World Bible is actually going to be pretty easy. It's kind of going to be like a first draft of the World Bible. If you're wondering what I mean by that, I mean kind of like an encyclopedia of the world of the book. So that if I ever need to figure something out, understand something about the world building that I've done, or like something I've forgotten, I have this World Bible to kind of look back at and see what I was talking about and what the rules were. So for this first iteration of the World Bible, it's gonna be pretty easy just because I am marking down aspects of world building as I'm doing my read through, so I'm highlighting them. So theoretically, once I finish my read through, I should be able to just go through and find everything that's highlighted in purple and add those to the World Bible, because those are pieces of world building that I included in the text already. So basically it's like kind of set in stone. So that is going to form the foundation of the first draft of the World Bible. So that is what I want to have done by June 8th. 1 week after that, I want to have a structural rewrite plan done. For this current read through, getting from draft 1 to draft 2, I have kind of narrowed down what I want to focus, because in the past I haven't really known how to jump from draft 1 to draft 2, and it's been very overwhelming for me. I tend to be able to draft very, very quickly, the first draft, and then after that is when it gets scary for me. The editing part is when I kind of haven't got a clue. So in order to make that less overwhelming, my first read through is only including plot-based edits. So I'm basically going through if there are any major plot holes, that's what I'm keeping track of. If there are any kind of scenes that really don't need to be there or scenes that need to be added, that's what I'm adding. So that's why it's going to be for the structural rewrite plan, because it is truly just the structure of the story. So from draft 1 to draft 2, I'm really trying to only focus on plot stuff. I'm not editing dialogue. I may have made a couple notes because some of it I just can't get past. I'm not doing character stuff yet. That's going to be a whole nother draft. I'm really just making sure that the story is there. After those first 2 weeks, I should have the read through done. I have a bit of a map, I have a bit of a world Bible started, and I have a structural rewrite plan ready. So I have a game plan. I know what I want to do next. Then the goal for the 3rd and 4th week, so the last 2 weeks of June, my goals are to just have done 30 minutes of rewriting every single day. I want to be more serious about this, which means I need to be more consistent and I need to be on myself with that consistency if this is actually something that I truly want, which it is. So I just want to get 30 minutes of rewriting done every single day for the last 2 weeks of June. 30 minutes is a very small amount. I'm not forcing myself to do 30 minutes all in one go. I can do 3 10-minute blocks of rewriting throughout the day. I can do 2 15-minute blocks. Whatever's gonna work for me. And also, if that block of time isn't even me typing anything and it's just me staring at the screen for 30 minutes straight, I'm accepting that. It takes time to form habits. It takes time to build consistency in these sorts of things. So I'm being very careful about not putting pressure on myself to actually get a certain amount of work done during those 30-minute intervals. As long as I am sitting down, staring at the computer, or laying on the floor thinking about the story, that is what matters. I can already guess that some of these periods of time are going to be 30-minute walks where I'm just listening to my character's playlist and going for a walk and brainstorming that way. So that gets us to the end of June. So that's this next month. So those are the short-term goals. And then at the end of June, we're gonna kind of reevaluate, see what worked, see what didn't. Again, we're holding each other accountable, so that it gives us more motivation to actually genuinely try out these goals and see if they're gonna work. And then we will reevaluate and set some new short-term goals for July. So the idea is that we continue to set these short-term goals in order to build up to the longer term goals. So there's always something that isn't gonna take too much time to actually reach that goal, but feels like you're making progress and it's not too overwhelming. And then eventually, if you do the short-term goals and you achieve them, they should build up to the long-term goals. So that's what we're trying to do. The next goal that we set is a 3-month goal. So that's kind of like the medium length goal. And that is for September 1st. So on September 1st, my goal is to have the manuscript ready for outside eyes. This goal might change depending on how my smaller goals are going. If I get more editing done this summer than I'm expecting to, then the outside eyes that are going to see it in September are going to be sensitivity readers instead. But for now, the goal is just outside eyes are going to see it and start giving feedback to me. Whether that's, you know, a first round of beta readers or it is sensitivity readers, I'm not sure yet, because it will depend how these little goals go and what kind of progress I actually get done over the summer. So again, I've still got a goal set, but there is leniency to kind of adjust the steps that I'm taking to get to that goal and what that goal is gonna look like when I actually do get to it. As you can see, it's really a balance between making sure I don't burn out, because I have a habit of doing that, but still being disciplined and working towards this because it is something that I want to work towards. It's all about balance. And then the long-term goal for January 2023. In January of 2023, I want to start querying this project. I know I was torn between self-publishing and traditional publishing, and I'm still on the fence about that in the future, but for this project, I would really like to query it. So the goal is to start querying by January of 2023. So that gives me in total 7 months to get from the first draft to something that I feel like I can start sending out to agents. These are more tangible goals, you know, they're a little bit more specific, they have actual dates set, and they're a little more detailed than just publish a book before I'm 30. So that's still like an overarching goal, obviously, but having these shorter term goals is going to help me work towards that. So yeah, those are my goals for this month, and then the next 3 months, and then the next 7 months. Again, short term to medium term to long term goals. The purpose of that is to just have a plan into the future, but also have tangible steps to actually get through that plan successfully. So I'll probably do like an update of this video maybe in 2 months or so, just to give you an update on how that plan is going. But I hope that you enjoyed kind of getting a look into what my plans are right now, and it kind of gives you an idea of my timeline. Thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.